when you're a writer and director on a project, I'm imagining you have a very clear vision of the things you want to accomplish and how to get there. So I'm just wondering, final product from inception, how closely does your vision translate to the final product for you?
The vision itself is absolutely on point, but visions, just like clouds, they kind of shift and change a little bit. And you got to be open to that. I mean, that's my feeling, because great ideas come from all different creatives. And once you sign on, you're part of a village. I don't care what other thing that the director tells you, you are part of a village. And it's not all about, I want this and I want that. It's about what works best. We all wanted the best film possible, and great ideas were coming at me. So the vision itself remained, and I would honestly say that Dylan and Dermot really brought above and beyond my vision of how great the father and son could be, and how intense and the chemistry. And so, yeah, so the vision is pretty much intact, even though it wasn't shaped the same way at the very
Mm.
end of the day.
Dylan, I want to commend your performance because there's so many layers to what Eli needs to be in this film, right? And I've read a few books on like psychopathy and what psychopaths operate like and sociopaths operate like. And so I have to imagine there was like a level, at least some research that you had to put in to kind of learn about how those people operate.
Yeah, I think what was funny about it was when we were researching, we really found how hereditary this is, how
Mm.
it's very much so not a choice as much as people think. Yeah, I studied a lot of film just to see, how serial killers were played and stuff like that. Barry did a lot of the research, the hands with, the real life stuff, and that helped a ton for me. I think the biggest thing was we wanted people to believe that this was a human being, that this was something that could happen to any of us. And, I think we did a pretty good job of that. We were just talking about this too, was how, I turned in my father at the beginning of the movie. And I think that, that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure I did was, do the right thing. And I'm fighting that moral compass throughout the whole entire movie. Um, so yeah, I think that relationship is huge throughout this movie.
When not in that mode, there is a moral compass. He wants to protect Haley. He wants people to do what's right. He looks for a job. He does his job well. He relates to his boss well. There is a human factor to him, but there's also a mental illness, and you never know what's going to trigger it. And the moral compass is actually also the problem because he has an overdeveloped sense of right from wrong. And then the boundary gets blurred. And in my mind, like father, like son, like father, like son, like father, like son,
Yeah.
where did it start? Where did the anger come in? Where did the boundary first get blurred to what's right and wrong? So, we have no idea what Gabe's dad was like or what Gabe survived, but it certainly triggered something in him and obviously passed on.
Barry, I do want to talk about kind of the visual language of the film because immediately, one, I love that it just kind of gets into the action right away. Like you see, kind of Gabe kind of lose it right away, and then from there, there's a series of there's slick transitions, quicker cuts. There's a lot of overlays happening and fading. So I was just wondering, like visually, what were you trying to achieve and work with like your DP and editor to kind of like hone down for what you wanted the film to look and feel like?
The DP, I'll go one at a time. The DP, Mac Fiskin, was one of my favorites. My friend watched a rough cut with me and said, well, you got your DP now, from now on. He was so wonderful to work with. We're both very creative. We're both very open. So we didn't sit down saying, we should do this, we should do that. We said, what should we do with this? And we just bounced ideas off each other. And then we also realized that we do a lot of things on the fly because what you discuss on Zoom as sitting at your desk versus what you do on your feet when you actually have your location is very, very different sometimes. So we were both really, really good about working on the fly and trying things. And I don't know, I just loved Mac. So a lot of the vision, like I said, stayed the same, but you do have to make adjustments as you go.